Okay, now we're going to start with our rose print design. Whenever you want to start using watercolors, you always want to make sure that you're working in a surface that is not shiny. So you have to remove all the shiny parts from the surface of the nail. After you buff the entire nail, you want to make sure that you never touch with your fingers the surface of the nail, because you're going to add some natural oils and the watercolor will not adhere to the surface of the nail. So you want to be very careful that you don't touch the surface again. These are the products that I'm going to be using for our rose print design. I'm going to be using our Affinity Nail Art 1 and our Gel Slant number 1. These are the colors that I'm going to be using. It will be a pink, a black, a blue, a white, and a yellow. I'm going to start with our watercolor paint pink. I'm going to do a little tad of all the same colors. Okay, the next step that I'm doing is dipping the brush inside the water, and I'm gonna get a little bit of pink and mix it so I can thin it down. Once my brush is fully charged, I'm gonna tap to remove a little bit of paint, and I'm gonna come in and start doing the flower. It's a very simple flower. You just have to do a small spiral in the middle, and then you just work your way around it. Once you add the first one, then you can come in just with the tip of the brush, make it thin and thick in the middle and thinner on the points. As shown, I'm gonna start again with the second one. You just press in the middle, and as you start on the tip, you lift the brush. One last one, press and lift. I'm gonna do a second flower, but with a different color. I'm gonna use a little bit of white and a little bit of blue to mix it and create a lighter blue. What I love about these watercolors are that are highly pigmented. So no matter as much water you keep adding, you're always gonna have an intense color. Once I have a good mixture, I'm gonna come in on the other side of the nail, and I'm gonna start another rose again, doing the same thing, a little spiral in the middle, and then I work my way around it. This is like a half rose. Clean your brush completely. I'm gonna add a little bit of brown to my palette. Just a little tad, you don't need a lot of paint. Pick up some water with your brush, and now you're gonna mix the brown with the yellow, and we want to create a maroon color. And I'm gonna come in and fill the other gaps. Doing the same technique. Clean your brush completely. Remove the excess water, and then you're gonna come in onto the first rose that we did, the pink one, and we're gonna give the watercolor effect by creating a gradient in every petal that we did. with your wet, it's like a dry consistency on the brush. You don't need water in it, it's just like a dry brush. Once you fill your brush with paint, you want to clean it again. To create your dry brush, you just remove the excess liquid by tapping on the towel, and then you come back in and do the gradient. You want to make sure that you don't add water. If you add water, you're going to smear the flower. We are just using a dry brush, dry wet brush. To create the gradient, you want to make sure that you are cleaning inside the petal only, fading it onto the white spots that we leave. That will create more dimension on your roses. Even though they are very simple, it gives a very pretty design effect. Once I finish creating the gradient in all the flowers, I'm gonna come with my nail art 1 brush and I'm gonna darken my maroon color, adding a little bit of brown. Again, remove the excess product, and you're gonna do a spiral. I'm gonna make it a little more darker. Inside the yellow flowers to create more depth. And this is the same thing that you want to do to the entire nail. You just want to outline that rose. Now I'm going to use blue. We're going to make it a little bit darker too. And now we switch onto the pink. Another thing that you're gonna love about our watercolors is that it doesn't matter if they dry. Once you add a little more water, it goes back to normal. And there you have it. We're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna add a top coat. Another product that I'm gonna be using will be our high gloss UV foil, and this is gonna seal the entire design. And now we're introducing the lamp for 1 minute. After we have cured the lamp for 1 minute, I'm gonna use our clear builder gel, and I'm gonna add a small bead around the cuticle area to adhere our KUPA charm. I'm gonna apply this charm, and I'm gonna pull down a little bit on the gel. To make your ring finger pop, we're gonna do an accent now, adding a charm and a series of rhinestones. And now we introduce in the lamp for 1 minute. So there you go, guys. This is the end result of the rose print design. If you try this at home, please make sure to share it with us on our social medias. It could be Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. We will love to see the twist that you put on this design. Also, if you really like this video, please make sure to share it with your friends and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions regarding any of the products that we used today, please make sure to email us at technicaladvice@kupainc.com.